Great. That's great. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Did that work? I mean, the serious moments weren't, were they serious? Or, I don't know. Actually, when I thought about this, I thought the whole thing was going to be playful, which it sort of was, you know? Maybe like our serious moments weren't like serious enough, or I don't know, could we make them more serious? Or I think actually what was going on is the activity itself, because I was like, you know, being all like playful about it, made certain transitions easier or harder. Like transitioning to seriousness was kind of hard. Or actually, it was kind of the opposite. I think maybe being playful was kind of hard. Maybe it sort of set the tone talking about my dad.
What if you had to be serious without telling the truth?
Without telling the truth?
Yeah. Makes it
I thought that was part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother loves me.
That would be a lot.
Yeah.
I really have spread. I'm serious.
Yeah. Well, in any case, the activity as a whole did color this in some regard, I think. You know, like something about this environment or our situation was making certain transitions more difficult or more easy. But so then, what does it take to change an activity or an environment? Well, now I'm moving to part two. Why focus on an activity or environment? Let's even broaden our perspective. What about our lives and our personalities, right? Some people are playful and some people are serious. That's just how it is, right? A serious person can sometimes be playful, but it's not like real playfulness. Just like a serious person can, a playful person can sometimes be serious, but like, is he really, really, really serious? So I'm relating this a little bit to Kierkegaard with either or. So I'll sort of get us into that world a little bit. And either or is basically these two opposing lifestyles, which never really come together. One is this aesthete, this artist, right? He's like this crazy artist type who plays the game of life just for fun, for the beauty of it. So his whole life is defined by what Kierkegaard says, a series of approach runs. So he tries like being a lawyer, or he tries like this tricky game of seduction, or he tries the life of a doctor. And all these are like little tastings of life. They get the juice out of something, and then just when the thing starts to become established or set and routine, it's gone, something else. Then you have the judge, the ethical guy, right? He's a person who makes firm ethical choices, you know, choices with value and permanence. So his decision to be a judge was done because it's the right thing to do, and that's not going to change. And acting as a judge, he will deem people, you deem criminals guilty because they broke some sort of like ethical code of conduct, you know? An ethical code of conduct which says that things are right or wrong eternally or forever. Ethics says doing X is wrong. It doesn't say doing X is wrong for 5 years. I mean, yes, perhaps that like certain like values will change in like different societies and stuff, but when you make that statement, the judgment is made eternally. The judgment is made without any intention of changing its mind. So, in this sense, Kierkegaard didn't say this, but I think we can sort of see play as being the aesthete, person that kind of lifestyle that doesn't make any committal, you know, no commitments to anything, that sort of attitude. And then seriousness is someone that makes like firm commitments. So, in which case, we can't really change things. Like, I can try to change an activity that's not really going to make any like real changes, you know? We can't really make a playful person serious or an ethical person engage in play unless we convert someone's lifestyle to another one. We can like dismantle an ethical theory, you know? I don't know. We can like, maybe with drugs or something. Or we can introduce like an ethical evaluation to someone's life. I think this is what happens like at the end of Goethe's Faust, when he like finally realizes that thing he wants to do, which is like reclaim water from the sea, and then the devil like takes him up. Or actually no, he's spared by the angels in the end. But anyway, so I want to broaden the perspective even more. I want us to look back at our childhood, and we're going to use a little psychoanalytical lens for that. Great. So, in other words, in order to understand ourselves, we have to look at the formative years of our development. That's what psychoanalysis is all about. In fact, a lot of psychology, but particularly psychoanalysis. And Donald Winnicott, this famous British psychoanalyst, had actually did that essentially, but with play. He talked a lot about play. So we're going to try and get into his ideas by like enacting them and trying like to get into play, as Winnicott would say. So first thing Winnicott says is that play involves a certain kind of formlessness. In other words, you have to have an environment without like a real purpose. So was that was that without purpose? I don't know. I mean, it seems as though, as I was saying before, the activity kind of has like this whole effort to display knowledge or questions of understanding or whatever. Like it's kind of not wholly without purpose. So maybe we can all just say random words at the same time. Okay? Go. Carrots and shoes and lighters and things. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Maybe that's a little bit without purpose, but there's more going. That's only the first step, right? There's a lot more that we have to do to get into Winnicott's play. We have to we need to have a transitional phenomenon. What's that? Well, we're all subjects, right? And we relate to objects, even if this is how like these psychoanalysts think, right? Even if an object's another person, that's still regarded. So even if like I'm talking to a person, they still think of that as an object. So we're subjects, relate to objects, but here's where the tricky thing comes in. We can relate to objects subjectively or objectively. So I'm going to explain this by just us doing it. So pick up an object, look at it, focus on some quality of it, just like the blackness of this pen or just something. Notice how this quality is there and you can't really do anything to control it right now. It's just there, outside of you. Great, we just had an objective object. Good job. So now let's do the other kind. Let's do the subjective object. This one's much more fun. Okay, so I'm going to give you out some paper. If you guys can just pass that around in both directions. You guys should have some pens. Now we're going to need to partner up for this activity. Is it 1, 2, 4, perfect. Okay, so you guys are together, you guys, we're going to make the vowel. Great. So, now, person 1, whoever was person 1 in the previous example, raise your hands if you're 1. Does this work? Are you 1? You're 1. She's a 1. Okay, great. You guys are going to be the child. Okay? And person 2 is going to be the mom. Okay? So here's how this is going to work. The mom, if you could draw a picture of your breast on the piece of paper. And just like a quick, like, cursory breast, you know. And but make it a nice breast. Make it a nice breast. Now, child, close your eyes. Are the child's eyes closed? So, children, you are in confusing world of senses. You don't really understand what's going on. You're not sure if the things that you're viewing and things that you're feeling are yourself or other people or what, you know, but you do have some sort of feelings, you know, and you want milk, and you desire a breast, and open your eyes. The breast magically appears. You created it. You are omnipotent.
Very nice.
Good job. That was a subjective object, because you made it.
I'm a bad breast.
So, what's a transitional phenomenon? Well, let's go back to our objects. Go back to our objects. We're gonna do what's play for Winnicott. Neither of those were play. Now we're gonna really play. So, let's pretend our object now is some sort of puppet with qualities and characteristics, right? Maybe these qualities give us comfort of some kind, you know, like this pen for me is like really wonderfully educated and able to speak much better than I can. And that gives me comfort because I'm insecure about my intelligence, you know. So this pen's a really intelligent pen. He even talks in a British accent. Broad.